Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Dowd here, kicking off another exciting week in tech and tomfoolery. I hope you all had a great weekend of surf, sun, and fun in the middle of July. And for all you school kids and teachers out there, it just got real because chances are you're on the back half of your vacation. Back to school is starting soon, but first, it is July 15th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. It's Prime Day, gotta get deals on Prime Day. Everybody's looking forward to an Echo. It's Prime Day, getting deals on Prime Day. Everybody's looking forward to a Chromebook, Apple and Samsung, and yeah, smartphones and laptops, and yeah, tech. Looking forward to Prime Day. Now, the sad part is, I sung that worse than Rebecca Black, but not that much worse. Hashtag no autotune. It is the first day of a 2-day Prime Day extravaganza day of savings day. It's Black Friday in July, but without all the murders at Walmart. Discounts galore are all over Amazon.com, and fun fact, the last thing I bought during Amazon Prime Day was a tent. Yep, all tech here, baby. Anyway, let's make with the savings, right? Well, hold on, because most of what we're reporting here is US only. I know, wah wah. I sincerely hope that wherever you live, you are free to pursue discounted consumerism that matches with your interests. But let's check out what's up here in America. Apple's 10.5-inch iPad Pro with 512 gigabytes of storage plus connectivity to Wi-Fi and cellular is going for $699, which is a pretty decent deal, around $250 off what you'd normally find it for. The Apple Watch series is on sale for $169 or $229, depending on if you want cellular connectivity because you hate your battery. Also, Beats Solo 3 headphones are $160 off. They have a B on them. Amazon is selling its own stuff for dirt cheap, because of course it is, including an Amazon Fire TV stick for half off at $24.99. Still not worth it. And an Echo Show at $49, which, if I'm totally honest, is kind of tempting. There are also discounts on Kindles, Kindle Paperwhites, and Kindle Fire tablets, and a word of warning about Kindle Fire tablets at $29.99. You are getting exactly $30 worth of tablet, folks. I don't want to complain. $30 is hella cheap for a tablet, and frankly, at $30, you're lucky the thing turns on. But it doesn't run well, like, at all. So keep that in mind. You're buying a Netflix box, and that's about it. Samsung's Galaxy phones are all on sale on Amazon, from the S9 to the S10, all the way up to the Galaxy S10 Plus, which is $699, which is a pretty sweet deal. Over the weekend, I started playing with Super Slow-Mo again on the S10 5G, and God, I miss Super Slow-Mo. The Galaxy S10 Plus with 512 gigabytes of storage, that's half a terabyte, people, is about $1,000, down from around $1,300, so, yeah. Side note, I've often told my wife that if we're saving $300, we can't afford it. Anyway, the show notes and our newsletter both have all of these deals linked, and the newsletter has even more on Chromebooks and other phones, and tosses in some deals on Google hardware not included in Prime Day, so check that all out on digit.com. But for now, let's head into the roundup! Remember that Japan-South Korea trade dispute that we talked about a few days ago? Well, the first casualty of that dispute may emerge as the Galaxy Note 10. Android Authority is reporting that Samsung may have to cut back on Note 10 production due to a shortage of materials needed to manufacture its Exynos processors. Samsung typically sells two variants of its devices, one with a Snapdragon processor and the other one with its own Exynos processor. And spoiler alert, at least according to every speed test G I've seen, Snapdragon always wins. Billionaire Peter Thiel is calling for an FBI and CIA investigation into Google, calling the company treasonous, and let's just qualify this by pointing out that Peter Thiel is on the board at Facebook, so, takes one to know one. Thiel is convinced that Google has been infiltrated by Chinese intelligence since Google is, quote, working with the Chinese military and not with the U.S. military. Thiel made these comments during a keynote speech entitled Star Trek Computer is Not Enough, and oh yeah, I do remember that episode where Google worked with the Chinese. Good recall, Pete. Huawei is planning to lay off hundreds of workers in the U.S., and yeah, I guess that totally makes sense. Facebook got hit by a $5 billion with a B dollar fine for privacy violations, and Facebook stock went up as a result. Look, $5 billion is a lot of money for sure, and people are pointing to the fact that Facebook can probably find $5 billion in its couch cushions to pay for this. The fact of the matter is, fines don't work unless they actually hurt, and this fine doesn't hurt. And let's not forget that Facebook was at the negotiating table when trying to hammer out this fine, as we reported several months back. This whole thing is just a whole lot of wrong. Guess what, FTC? If parking costs $100 but the fine for illegal parking is only 25 cents, I'll take the ticket, and so will Facebook. And speaking of privacy, the Florida DMV is selling Floridians' data to data brokers and made $77 million doing it last year. Plus, Floridians can't opt out of that practice. Basically, if you live in Florida and have a state ID, you also have a neon sign in your house that says "Insert spam and robocalls here." Maybe that's why LeBron left. Just saying. Jalopnik writes that low-profile tires are ruining modern cars, and I can't say I totally disagree. Low-profile tires are tires with basically no sidewall that have only about 3 inches of rubber between the road and the rim. Potholes will not only kill these tires, but the rims themselves, turning a $25 flat repair into a $2,500 tire and rim repair. Of course, if you own a Tesla, maybe that's not that big of a deal, but us poor folk, we need our sidewalls, so can we keep our $25 repair, okay? Bottom line, low-profile tires are a bad idea and should be avoided if at all possible. And finally, as promised, I have included a direct link to last week's Android Authority podcast where Joe, Jonathan, and I talked about Sprint's 5G deployment and my experience in downtown Chicago. TLDR, Sprint is doing it absolutely right. So that is going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Dowd, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow.